It's an alarming thing that's happening that concerns me, but I think we need to be aware of what's going on. And this week, the Justice, you can see here, Justice Department brings a wave cases over 836 million in alleged COVID fraud. COVID fraud. Here is the coverage of the New York Times. Over 3,100 charged with pandemic relief fraud, Justice Department says. Here's another one. This is the Office of Public Affairs. Justice Department announced results of a nationwide COVID-19 fraud enforcement action. What I want to pay attention to in this video, and it's becoming very alarming, is the fact about how much potential fraud there is. You know, when this whole thing started out, and I'm going to pull something right here real quick, I had somebody to send me this picture. And what it was what was COVID like before fraud? It was the fact that this is April 5th, 2020. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little line here. April 5th, 2020. Just a few days after the CARES Act happened. Also up here, so I'm talking about line by line on the 7,200. The ERC employment credit, I'm doing that. The forgiveness loans, frequently asked questions for the small business. Here's my point. At this point in time, I felt there was no real fraud. And now that in an earlier video a couple weeks ago, I talked about frequently asked questions, here in August have been updated. Now that any overpayment that has been paid on the ERC credit became final regulations, it either becomes a fraudulent or an erroneous refund. That is position the IRS has taken in the last 30 days. So you don't have to read the tea leaves. With this, with this stuff here going on, and this is paycheck protection, this is unemployment, and this is some ERC, I believe we're on the verge of having major action on the ERC credit. And so, yeah, I want to sound the alarm, because also what happened this week, I was in a meeting where that another tax professional made the remark, they consult with a very large CPA firm, and they were reviewing ERC where that the business had already got the money. And he makes the following remark that just like earth-shattering. He said out of approximately 40 reviews of ERC credits that the business had already got, he believed only 2 of them qualified. That's a 95% error rate wrong. But then I stopped and I thought about what I've been doing. I did a video kind of like on secret shopping. And what happened was I started out, here's a company, and I go in and it wasn't a CPA firm. Before it was over with, I'd just say, AGC, CPA, Larry Gray, CPA. And the person would just walk me down the road, a little checklist. But here's the thing. 16 out of 16 times they qualified me for ERC on a company that does not qualify. So in that case, 0 out of 16 times they told me I qualified. I just got on my phone a few minutes ago and what am I doing? And all they need is my 941X and my payroll. They didn't ask me when the pandemic started for my business location. They didn't ask me even about if I was under a pandemic. It was just, I'll just grab this right here, check one of these, check one of these, check one of these or more. Check this, and then, do I qualify? Do I qualify? They never asked me about the pandemic. So I know in my own case, 100% of all of the 16 times was either an erroneous or a fraudulent credit. All I'm trying to do on this news break, so to speak, is the fact that if you have gotten the ERC credit and they did not ask you for your mandates, and they can only qualify for the period the mandate's open, but these lists are to prove that you are justifying you qualify during the mandate period. Because remember, the companies that are shut down, most of them didn't pay payroll. Those went to unemployment. And that's the fraud in this announcement over here, part of it. So it was the essential businesses that kept going that are mainly the ones applying for this ERC credit. We're 3.5 years in. This video right here, this was 3.5 years ago. Why is the numbers of the ERC applications going up whenever the pandemic's been over for a year or two. It's because everywhere you turn, the TVs, the radio, qualify, it's easy money. Well, if they're using this checklist and they're not asking you for the mandate, and then saying, oh, during your mandated period, what if this applied to you? But they forget the word mandate and go to this list of justifying more than nominal. So with this, I just want to say, please, if you've got the ERC, you're the one that signed the 941Xs. You're the one that made a decision. And remember, I, as a practitioner, regulated by what they call Circular 230, here's the thing. In that, as a tax professional, I have to determine I believe you qualify in order to recommend you to file for it. All these things on TV, I've done 16 of these. They don't certify anything. They don't sign anything. I'm on my own. It even says in the contract, we don't do audits. We don't do tax returns. What do you do except being my clerical assistant to help me to an erroneous or fraudulent refund? People, friends, small business, large business, beware, because you may have got an improper refund. Stay tuned, take care, and oh, by the way, I'm currently starting to help defend people that probably took an erroneous refund. See you on the next video.